The story begins with a gray, overcast morning in Salem Creek, Massachusetts, a small, mist-covered town known for its old legends and restless spirits. A black car pulls up in front of an ancient Victorian house, its windows boarded, its porch sagging under years of silence. Claire Dawson, 28, steps out, her face pale but composed. She hasn't been back since she was 8 years old, not since the night her mother disappeared. Now, after her father's recent death, the house belongs to her. The camera follows her slow steps toward the front door. Each creak of the wooden floor echoes through the emptiness. Inside, the air feels thick, heavy with dust, memories, and something else, something watching. Old photographs line the hallway. Her parents smiling, her as a child between them, frozen moments from a time that feels like someone else's life. She traces a finger across a frame, leaving a clean streak in the dust. As she opens a window, cold wind rushes in, carrying the faintest whisper. It sounds almost like her name. The realtor's voice echoes behind her. "Be careful, Miss Dawson. Locals say the house never really stays empty." Claire forces a nervous laugh, brushing it off. But when she turns back toward the living room, the front door closes slowly on its own. Fade out. The house exhales, welcoming her home. The next morning, Claire begins exploring the house, trying to adjust to the silence that feels too complete, almost alive. The floorboards creak with every step, as if the house remembers her. Dust floats in the sunlight, cutting through half-broken curtains. She walks through each room slowly, touching the furniture, the wallpaper, the faint memories pressed into every corner. Everything feels suspended in time, like the house has been holding its breath for 20 years, waiting for her to return. She pauses in the living room. On the fireplace mantel sits a small glass perfume bottle coated in dust. She uncaps it, and the soft scent of lavender fills the air, the same fragrance her mother used to wear. The smell shouldn't still exist after all these years, but it does. Outside, a crow lands on the window ledge and taps its beak against the glass. Once, twice. Claire flinches. The sound is too sharp in the stillness. She opens her father's study. Papers scattered, a half-burnt candle on the desk, and an old photograph of her mother placed face down. When she turns it over, the smiling face of her mother seems almost alive, the eyes faintly glimmering in the dim light. Then the house settles with a deep groan. A window upstairs shuts by itself, and for a moment, Claire swears she hears something moving above her, soft footsteps, pacing slowly. The silence of the house isn't empty. It's listening. Night falls early in Salem Creek. The sky turns a bruised purple, and the house sinks into shadow. Claire lights a single candle. The power flickers too often to trust. By midnight, the house is silent again. She lies in her old bedroom, half asleep, when she hears a faint whisper. Soft, slow. Her name. Claire. She freezes, her eyes snapping open. The sound comes from the hallway, gentle, almost affectionate. She tells herself it's just the wind. But then she hears it again, closer this time. Claire, come home. She gets up, heart pounding, and walks toward the voice. The candle flame quivers as she passes the old mirror in the corridor, and in that brief flicker of light, she sees something behind her reflection. A shadow. Smiling. She spins around, nothing there. The air feels suddenly colder, heavier. The flame dies out. Then, from the darkness, comes a long, low creak. The sound of a door opening, somewhere downstairs. She calls out, "Who's there?" No answer. Only silence. But the whisper returns, softer, from inside the mirror this time. "Welcome back." The next morning, sunlight pours weakly through the curtains. Claire studies the mirror in the hallway. Tall, antique, its edges carved with strange patterns she never noticed before. She stares at her reflection. Something feels off. Her movements echo with a 1-second delay. When she tilts her head, her reflection lags, and then smiles after she stops. Her breath catches. She steps closer. The reflection's smile widens, unnatural, forced. Then, her reflection lifts a hand, but she doesn't. Claire gasps and stumbles back, hitting the wall. The reflection freezes again, perfectly normal now. Shaking, she grabs a sheet and throws it over the mirror. The fabric flutters as if something moves beneath it. Later that evening, she walks by again. The sheet is gone, folded neatly on the floor. Her reflection stares at her, expression blank. But for the briefest second, she sees another face, her mother's. The eyes are hollow, pleading, and from behind the glass, a faint voice whispers, "He lied to you." That afternoon, Claire meets her neighbor, Mr. Haver, an old man with trembling hands and eyes that never meet hers. He's standing by the fence, staring at the house. He asks quietly, "You staying there alone?" She nods. He shakes his head slowly. "People don't stay long in that place. That house, it keeps what it loves." Claire laughs nervously, trying to ignore his words. "You sound like the stories my dad used to tell." Mr. Haver looks up sharply. "Your father? He knew what that house could do. That's why he never left." "He couldn't." Claire frowns. "Couldn't? Why?" He leans closer. "Because the woman he loved never left either." Claire's smile fades. The old man's eyes glisten. "Your mother didn't die, child. She disappeared, right inside those walls." She stares at him, unable to speak. He whispers one last thing before walking away. "If you hear her voice, don't answer it." Claire turns back toward the house. Its windows seem to shimmer in the sunlight, like eyes blinking awake. The whisper returns, carried on the wind. This time, it sounds like her mother. The next evening, rain pounds against the windows. Claire can't sleep. The whispers haven't stopped. They've grown bolder, clearer. She keeps hearing a soft humming sound, almost like a lullaby. Following the sound, she ends up in the hallway beside the old wallpaper, the one with faint floral designs. Something catches her eye, a small crack running along the edge. She tugs at the wallpaper, and it peels back, revealing a hidden door, sealed with rusted nails. Her hands tremble as she pries it open. The door groans like it hasn't moved in decades. Behind it, a small, dust-covered nursery room. A wooden rocking chair sits in the corner, motionless. Tiny handprints stain the wall. A half-broken music box rests on the floor, carved with initials, M.D., Margaret Dawson, her mother. Claire winds it gently. It begins to play, a haunting, off-key lullaby she remembers from childhood. The rocking chair begins to move on its own, creaking back and forth. The air turns freezing cold. The lullaby slows down, almost like a heartbeat fading. On the far wall, written faintly in chalk, are the words, "She never left." Claire backs away, her eyes wide with terror. And just before she shuts the hidden door, the music box stops, but the lullaby continues softly from behind the wall. After finding the hidden nursery, Claire starts losing track of time. She wakes up at strange hours, her dreams blending into reality. Each night, the whispers grow sharper, no longer distant, but intimate. They start repeating her thoughts, her fears. Sometimes, she hears her father's voice, pleading. Other times, her mother's, sobbing softly. One night, she dreams of her childhood home again, the same living room, but bathed in red light. Her mother stands by the fireplace, crying. Her father yells, holding something, a mirror shard shining like a blade. "She's not your mother anymore," he screams. "You don't understand," she cries back. The floor beneath Claire burns in her dream. When she wakes, her hands are covered in soot, real soot. Shaking, she checks the house. Everything is where it was. Except the hidden door she sealed yesterday. It's wide open. Inside, the music box lies broken in half. The lullaby hums faintly from somewhere deeper in the wall. Then, she hears the whisper again, now unmistakably her mother's voice. "He buried me. Find what he buried." Claire stands frozen. The whispers echo like a pulse through the house. One heartbeat, two, three, and then silence. The kind that feels like someone holding their breath, waiting. A storm rages outside. The power flickers, thunder rolling like an angry growl. Claire roams the hall, clutching a flashlight. The whispers guide her now, soft, rhythmic, almost like a chant. They lead her to the cellar door, one she's never noticed before, hidden behind a shelf in the hallway. The metal handle is ice cold. She hesitates, then pulls it open. A breath of damp, stale air rushes out. The flashlight beam catches steps descending into darkness. The deeper she goes, the colder it gets. The walls are slick with moisture, the air smells of rot and iron. At the bottom, she finds old furniture, shattered toys, and burned photographs scattered on the ground. One photo catches her eye. Her mother, standing by that same mirror upstairs, her eyes scratched out with a knife. She backs away and sees claw marks on the concrete wall, deep and uneven. Something was trying to get out. Then, she notices her shadow on the wall. Except, it doesn't move when she does. It stays still. She raises the flashlight, and the shadow tilts its head, smiling faintly. The flashlight dies. In the pitch-black dark, something whispers right beside her ear. "You found me." Shaken and sleepless, Claire spends the night searching her father's old study. She needs answers. Every drawer smells of smoke and old paper. Inside a locked compartment, she finds a small wooden box tied with string. Inside it, a letter, yellowed and burned at the edges, written in her father's rough handwriting. It reads, "Claire, if you're reading this, I'm gone. Your mother isn't. She wanted to speak to them, the ones behind the mirror. She thought she could bring back your brother. I tried to stop her. When she looked into the glass that night, something looked back. I sealed her in before it could take you too. Forgive me. The house feeds on sorrow. Don't listen when it calls your name." Claire drops the letter, tears filling her eyes. Her brother, she barely remembers him. A child's laughter echoes faintly from the hallway, soft and distant. She looks up, and in the mirror across the room, she sees a little boy standing behind her, smiling. When she turns, nothing. But the reflection remains. The boy whispers, "Mom's waiting." The next morning, Claire searches the attic, desperate to understand what's happening. Dust drifts through sunlight, slits like falling ash. In a cracked trunk, she finds her mother's old journal, its pages water-stained and trembling with ink. She flips through, reading words that make her stomach twist. "They hear me through the mirror. They want me to stay. The ritual must be completed, one soul for another." The pages describe how her mother tried to reach the dead, not out of madness, but grief. She wanted to contact her lost son, Claire's brother. The ritual used mirrors as gateways. Claire realizes the truth. The house is a vessel. It feeds on grief and mirrors it back as voices of the dead. Her father tried to stop it, but when he sealed the mirror, he trapped her mother inside. As Claire reads the final page, candle flames around her begin to bend toward the journal, as if pulled by breath. The last line bleeds through the page in smeared ink. "If the circle is broken, someone must take my place." A chill runs through her. The whispers return, louder, clearer, dozens of voices overlapping, calling her name. "Finish it, or stay forever." The house trembles. Dust falls from the ceiling. And for the first time, Claire whispers back, "Tell me how." Night again. The ritual begins. Candles flicker in a perfect circle on the floor. The mirror looms in front of her, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Claire reads the words from the journal aloud, her voice shaking. Blood remembers. The mirror returns. As she finishes the chant, the air thickens. Her reflection begins to move differently. Eyes wide, mouth whispering words she isn't saying. The glass ripples like liquid. A hand, her mother's hand, presses from the other side, palm flat against the surface. Tears roll down Claire's face. "I'm sorry," she whispers. "I tried to bring you back." Her mother's mouth moves. "You shouldn't have come back." The mirror begins to crack, veins of light spreading across its surface. But instead of shattering, it bleeds. Thick, dark liquid seeps down the glass, dripping onto the floor. The whispers rise into screams. The walls twist and groan. The house seems alive, pulsing with grief. Claire reaches toward the bleeding mirror, and it pulls her hand inside. The last thing she hears before the lights explode into darkness is her mother's voice. "Run before it takes you too." The house stands silent now. No whispers, no wind, just stillness. Claire opens her eyes. She's inside the mirror world. Everything is reversed. The furniture, the shadows, even her heartbeat sounds hollow. Across from her stands her mother, eyes full of sorrow. "It won't let me go, Claire," she says softly. "Someone must stay, or it will never end." Claire's eyes fill with tears. "Then let me stay? You've suffered enough." Her mother shakes her head. "You don't understand. Once you take my place, you'll forget who you are. The house will make you part of it." The ground beneath them begins to tremble. Cracks spread across the mirrored walls. The real world is fading away. Claire grabs her mother's hands. "You gave me life. Let me give it back." The mirror glows. The two women's faces blur together, reflections merging. A blinding flash, and then silence. When the world steadies, only one figure stands in front of the mirror. It's Claire. Or at least, it looks like her. She smiles faintly, the same way her reflection used to. From inside the mirror, a faint voice whispers, "Thank you, my love." And the glass goes still. The next morning, the storm has passed. A soft fog rolls across Salem Creek. The town is quiet again. Mr. Haver, the old neighbor, walks past the Dawson house with his morning cane. The place looks calm, too calm. The windows are open, the curtains swaying gently as if breathing. He calls out, "Miss Dawson?" No answer. The front door stands slightly ajar. He hesitates, then pushes it open. The house smells different, faintly of lavender and smoke. Inside, the living room looks spotless, almost restored. The dust is gone. The fireplace burns low, though no one lit it. And on the wall above the mantel hangs a new framed photograph. Mr. Haver steps closer. It shows Claire and her mother, smiling, standing side by side, their hands joined. But the background looks wrong, warped, reflective, as if taken inside a mirror. He blinks, shaken. In that same moment, the house lets out a soft sigh, almost content. From upstairs, faint footsteps echo, slow, rhythmic, like a lullaby keeping time. Mr. Haver backs out, whispering to himself, "The house, it kept her." As he leaves, the front door quietly closes behind him. The reflection in the window shifts, Claire's face watching him go. Night falls once more over Salem Creek. The Dawson house stands silent, bathed in the pale light of the moon. Inside, the mirror gleams faintly in the dark hallway. Its surface is perfectly smooth, no cracks, no stains. But if you look closely, you can see two faint silhouettes behind the glass. A mother and daughter, standing together. A soft lullaby begins to play. Then a whisper. Love never dies, it only waits. The camera slowly zooms in toward the mirror. The reflection of the hallway flickers. For a second, it shows you, the viewer, standing there. A faint voice calls. "Can you hear us?" Say our name. The screen flickers. The sound distorts. A final whisper slides through the speakers, soft, direct, intimate. "We see you." Then, silence. The mirror's surface ripples once, like water touched by a breath. And a single handprint appears on the inside of the glass. Fade to black. Some houses remember love. Others remember who left. If you ever hear your name whispered in the dark, don't answer. Subscribe for more haunted tales, because the next whisper might be yours.